This is the Brown Duke Gun Show back for 2025. My name is JP Garcia, here today with Brandon Elias. We are 2 of 3 today. Austin, I think he's taking a trip, right?
Yeah,
or something like
something
that.
like that.
Yeah. So first real podcast of 2025, and it's late, and I'm sorry, but it's a good day to do this. We have a lot to catch up on. This is the week after SHOT Show, and the guys were at SHOT Show all last week. I was supposed to. I was absent. I got sick. I was a jerk. I didn't make the trip, so I'm very anxious to hear about what happened. So we'll chat about that. So Brandon, lots of things. I mean, you know, we talked a little bit yesterday about all the kind of crazy stuff that was going on. So you want to give us a recap?
Yeah. So it was a very long week, let's say.
Yeah.
So this week or this SHOT Show, we actually went for the whole week. Mm-hmm. Usually I go for the first 2 days, so I'll go for Tuesday or Wednesday, go look at all the different products and all the main things that I want to go see. I have a list, and then it's for the rest of the week we go and do whatever we want to do, right? Like go to Vegas or have fun, do whatever. But this year we had a booth, so we had to be there for the whole week, right? And then we had to work the booth, so it was even more difficult because you don't get to go out and see everything you have, right?
Okay.
Trying to make sure that I planned all my meetings. And got to take care of all those for defense side and for the manufacturing side, and still try to go and look at new products that people are asking about. So we had a few people chime in on Instagram and ask hey, can you go check out this product? Can you go check out that product? So I was able to go and see all those and took some pictures of them. So I'll talk about different ones and what I thought about them. But yeah, it was a very stressful week, I guess you could say, and a very busy week.
Sure.
I didn't get to see everything that I really wanted to, just because I had a limited amount of time outside of the booth, because we had to go and work it. But got to see a lot of cool stuff.
That's cool. Yeah, Sentry Manufacturing, by the way.
right.
Look at that. Get your shirts on sentrydef.com, or you can come into the range for that.
Yep.
But it was a very big week for Sentry Manufacturing. A lot of good contacts were made. Is it public that the new charging handle for the AR10 platform?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that have that. We have pre-orders available right now. So they're going to be in production within a couple weeks, and then we'll have those out for sale probably in a couple months.
Okay.
So we're hoping second quarter around there.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So if you have an AR10 platform rifle, go get your deadlock. It's ready for you.
And we actually had a AR-10 handle in Daniel Defense's MRGG gun.
Oh, cool.
They have a new contract that went out, and they had a bunch of companies that were building a gun for Crane, and they decided hey, we're gonna put your charging handle into the show gun that's gonna be on the floor. So that was really cool, very interesting and very exciting. They also had some of them in the AR-15 guns. The main marketing guy, he has a charging handle in his personal gun, and he put his personal gun up there on the wall.
Oh, cool.
Nice. So it's pretty cool. And Lead and Steel is another company that had a lot of our charging handles in there. I think all their guns actually had our charging handles in them.
Oh, wow.
JP Rifles. So we got.
And you know this, hey.
Yep. We got to talk to John Paul, right?
Oh, nice.
And,
is he a John Paul too?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yep.
Is his last name Paul?
John. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm
interesting.
not sure. I think his middle name.
I definitely need to go meet that guy.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy, awesome guy. So we got to go and talk to him. He was actually in the booth walking around. So we met him before, and we just walked by the booth to see if our handles were in there. Right. And he had 3 or 4 rifles that were in there, and we got to talk to him since he was there. But yeah, it was
nice.
Really cool. He's supposed to be putting a lot of our handles in his guns, maybe an OEM thing.
Okay.
We're talking about right now. And he's excited about it, but the company has grown so much, that's a huge company now, right?
Yeah.
So you talk to him, and he's like, man, whenever I was running things, I just say this thing and it happens, right? He's like, now we have so many people, so they have to go through all this stuff, but it's supposed to be happening.
Yeah. I think when I ordered mine a long time ago, there was one sales guy, and I would just call him. And and you could kind of tell it's still smaller operation.
Yep.
So gosh, I can only imagine that because they're super popular with not just with the gamers, but with everybody.
With law enforcement, state police, Louisiana State Police has them.
They run JPs? No kidding.
They run JP rifles. Yep.
Wow.
So they're a great company, and they're still a small company in the whole field, right? Mm-hmm. But they're grown, right?
Yeah.
They're not like a Smith Wesson or a Colt or something like that, right? But they're still a very big company. And it's kind of grown for rather than just like one person, right? Or like 10 employees, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, they had a great booth. They actually moved up in booth, so they're like on the main floor now.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Had a huge booth right in the center. It looked great. Had all their products out, and they make so many different innovative products, right?
Oh yeah.
Like their bolt carrier groups are completely different than everybody else's. You can adjust them.
The silent capture springs.
Silent capture springs are amazing. The adjustable gas blocks, you know, their hand guards and the JP5, like all that stuff's just so much different.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah, yeah. And soon with the deadlock, right?
That's right. Yeah, hopefully that comes out with it. So it'd be really cool to see them in their guns, and they're a great company. We're very excited to partner with them.
Yeah.
And we try to do that. Like we try to partner with products that we want to see. You know, like we would use. So JP Rifles is one of those rifles that we have. So I want to partner with them.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I wonder if he'd make a Brown Duke gun show rifle.
Maybe that'd be cool.
I'm sure he would.
They have all the crazy Cerakote colors.
I just had to pay for it.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, yeah, just put your credit card right here. And
exactly. Yeah, you can have whatever you want.
Yep. But yeah, that was pretty exciting. We got to talk to Barrett.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was really cool. They're supposed to be coming out with like more stuff for their Recce 7 guns. So it's like their AR-15 styles. A lot of people don't know Barrett actually makes AR-15s, but they do. They make amazing AR-15s.
Okay.
Actually, they used to have a piston-driven one, and I didn't see it out in the show this time. I don't know if they still make it right now.
Right.
But their piston-driven one is a sharp stroke piston. It ran great. Their DIs are wonderful too. But we're going to talk to them about it, and they're supposed to be coming out with like a new line of Recce 7.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Big stuff, man.
Big stuff, yep.
That's cool.
I had to work a lot on the booth, but also on the defense side, we got to go and see a lot of stuff too.
Sure,
cool stuff.
Sure. For the range and stuff that you're going to carry. I saw some of that that you guys were posting online about new products you're going to carry.
Yep.
Like
the Staccato. That was like the big question.
The new one.
The new one. Yeah. They finally came out with that new one.
What is the new one? Okay, so I've seen a lot of stuff about it, but what is it?
So it's pretty interesting. It's so they're developed. We have a lot of friends over there, so their law enforcement guy, like their main trainer guy, is a very good friend of mine, and he had called me a few months ago and was like, "Hey, like, this is gonna be a new gun. It's gonna be big." And I was like, "All right, what is it?"
Yeah.
And it's a Series 80 1911, pretty much, right?
Okay.
Or 2011.
All right.
So they put the firearm pin block safety in there. They removed the backstrap safety because they don't need the backstrap safety anymore with that. And it takes Glock mags. So
really,
the reason why it's ambidextrous, completely ambidextrous, so it has ambidextrous slide releases and slide locks. The magazine button can be changed. It takes Glock mags, but the grip angle did not change.
Okay.
So the grip angle, it looks like it's changed, but it did not change.
What's the max capacity of a 17 mag?
17.
Is it 17?
Yeah, 17 rounds. So the reason why they built this gun is because they had a bunch of law enforcement agencies that wanted to switch over to Staccatos, but the gun's not drop safe, right? It's a 2011 or 1911. Like, they're just not. It's
right.
Hammer and a seer.
Yeah.
So they needed it to have drop safe. So that's where they're like, all right, we need to do the Series 80. 2011, that's what they came out with. Everything ambidextrous, and even the magazines were drop safe now, right?
Sure. Yeah, because it's Glock mag. Yeah.
Yep, Glock mags. So it just made it easier to switch over to that than trying to design another mag or take 2011 mags and then them have to mess with feed lips and all other stuff.
Right. So it still has a normal thumb safety.
So the normal thumb
but
safety.
the grip safety, the rear grip safety is disabled.
Not there. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pinned.
So it's like a gamer gun.
It's
like the way our guns are set up, where the
pinned. Yeah. So it's like there's no like back strap that like comes out or moves. It's just like all the way.
It's just solid.
Yeah, solid.
Okay.
But the gun itself would not be like a competition gun.
Sure. Yeah. The trigger's going to be like probably
it's
8
not
pounds
bad.
or something.
No, it's like 4
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's amazing.
For like
the
a single
trigger,
action. Yeah.
For the trigger being a Series 80, the only difference that I can tell was the pre-take, like take up.
Okay.
That was the only thing. Like you can
Yeah,
feel
but that
like
can be adjusted.
instead of with it pushing up on that plunger, you had to have some additional weight.
I see.
Right.
I see.
Like
yeah.
typically like on our guns, like
Right.
it's like touching a mouse pad.
Yeah.
Like it's super sensitive and there's no weight moving the trigger bow before for the pre-travel, right?
I see.
Then you get to the wall and it breaks clean.
Right.
This one on the pre-travel, it's like there is weight. It's almost like a, not saying a Glock trigger, but
it's like
way better than that.
Sure.
But you know how like whenever you have a 2-stage trigger, like on a Glock trigger, Smith Wesson trigger, SIG, whatever,
Yeah.
like you feel some weight there.
Right.
That's what it is.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of weight there, and then they break the sear. But I think what they did was have like the sear set at like a 2 pound, and then they added the pre-travel, which is like 2 pounds. So now it brings it to like a 4 pound trigger.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
So it feels really good. And if you decide like, hey, I want more of a gamer gun, you take the Series 80 parts out of it, and it turns into a regular single action gun.
Right.
And then now you have just a regular 1911.
Got
right?
it. Got it.
So it's
got
not like a downside of it. But
Yeah.
if you're like a police officer, if you do tactical stuff, tactical games, or if you want like a gun to have on a battle belt or whatever you want to do with it, I'd say that's the
80
D gun.
So is it full size?
Full size, yeah.
Full size, yeah.
The slide comes in 2 different ones right now. They have a 4-inch and a 4.5 inch.
Okay.
That's the 2 slide because they have the 4.5 inch is going to have a front sight barrel post thing, like how they put it on the barrel.
Right.
And then the 4 is just like straight all the way to the end.
Okay.
It's going to be on the slide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should have a couple of them ship in this week, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I ordered 2 different ones. So we should have both the different sizes. The first size is going to be the 4-inch, so that should be here this week. And then the next one's going to do the end of February. Is going to be the 4.5.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Nice.
So we should have them in the shop where we can see them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be like a cool, like I guess like end of the world type of gun if you're like doing that, because it shoots amazing. I mean, I was able to shoot both models. Obviously, the 4.5 shoots a little bit better.
Sure.
Because it's just a little bit more.
A little bit heavier and everything.
A little bit heavier gun, slide radius and stuff like that is better. But they shoot great. Much better than any production gun. Obviously, the accuracy is going to be a lot better. But it still takes Glock mag, so everybody has.
That's the most interesting thing.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part to me, that you're gonna have an Staccato that takes Glock mags.
Yep. It's crazy.
That's nuts.
And like they function.
That's
right?
like the
So,
best of both worlds, right? Because the gamers, we always complain that the STI mags,
you have to tune them.
You had to have them tuned, and you had to keep them up, and
they're $150.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I've got mountains of Glock mags.
Yeah, Glock mags, they give them away for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like $30 or something a mag.
That's amazing.
So it's super convenient to have Glock mags, and they actually run. So that's the thing. Like with the Glock mags, typically like the Glock angle is angled.
Right.
So in order to put the same angle of mag into a straight grip and still feed properly is pretty impressive.
That's nuts.
I'm sure they had to do a lot of like angles and all that stuff.
Well, I guess it makes sense. You think about how thick of a 2011 grip could be, right? You've got a lot of room in there to adjust, and it's just the question is then for us, the gamers of it all. When you go to, instead of making it a 17 round gun, you want to make it a 25 round gun or something like that. And you have these base pads. The base pad angles are going to come out weird.
Yeah, they're going to come out different.
So, but that's okay. You just have to design your mag wells around it. Yeah. It's fine.
Yep.
So
it shot really good, and so I went to the Staccato range day, and like that place is amazing. Prairie Fire range.
Sure. Yeah.
The best range I've ever been to.
Didn't you go there for that Prairie Fire competition?
No, that was at Georgetown. So that was at Staccato's facility.
Oh, okay.
So this range is in like Nevada, but it's on the border of Nevada and California.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
If you're standing at the range, you see mountains. Like that's California.
Got it.
But this place is crazy. Like, oh, it's
they
insane.
had the PCSL Nationals there.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, it's like, I mean, the bays are probably 50 to 100 yards wide. So like to walk from one bay to another bay, like on the big bays, it's insane. Like it takes forever.
Need a golf cart.
Yeah, but it's all in the desert, right? So it's all like sand.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of wind because there's not other stuff there.
Yeah.
But like whenever you first drive up, there's 3 different bays or 3 different ranges, pretty much, right? And in between 2 of the ranges, there's this like monkey gym, right? Like it's like 30 foot in the air, and it looks like something you'd see in a zoo. Like, what? Those big, like, monkey things? Yeah. That's what it is. So, it's like, there's zip lines and everything else on it. And you, like, climb up this thing. And it's, like, on like big, like tower looking poles. It's crazy. So it's just for there, I guess, if you want to do like tactical stuff, whatever.
Really? So they're shooting out of those things?
I don't know. I don't know if they are. It'd be really cool if they would.
Yeah.
But like you can do whatever you want in there. Like if you want to land a plane there, you can land a plane there.
No kidding.
Yeah. It's.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's thousands of acres. There's a 5-gun and a sporting clay like range that we drove. So we jumped into Polaris with like the guy that runs the range. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I'll take y'all around. So we're riding around, and the 5-stand stuff's like in a valley. Right, it's like you see it down there, and there's like wooden steps that like look. It looks just like out of a movie. Like it's like this is too good and perfect to be true. Right.
Right.
And you just like shoot sporting clays go out into this big like canyon that just like drops off. Like there's obviously ropes and stuff where you can't go down there.
Yeah.
But it goes down in there, and you shoot the clay into the canyon.
That's
like,
amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What?
And then there's like a cowboy action thing where there's like this
whole
wall.
Yeah.
There's a whole wall of stuff, and there's different windows. So you go and like shoot out this window, then you run over this window.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was really
That's
cool.
nuts.
Yeah, crazy range. But I got to go and shoot the new Staccato. And like I said, it was very windy. It's in the desert. There's sand everywhere.
Sure.
Right. So as I was walking up, they had another guy that we know from USPSA that they have like custom built guns.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, like the guns stopped working because it's just so much sand, and they were shooting pallets of ammo, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, we just could not keep them clean enough to do it. So, but Staccato is still out there, and they're still running.
They're just running.
Yeah. So it's amazing that gun still runs. I mean, like whenever you picked up the gun, it was just like, you know that sand that's just like powdered, like sugar sand.
Yeah.
Like it was all over the gun, right?
Wow. Yeah.
Like inside the slide and everything, and that thing was still running, and it's been shooting all day. Like,
wow.
Yeah, so they're definitely reliable guns. The Series 80 ones, and all the other ones, we knew that before, but to put it in those conditions and get it shot all day by multiple different people and just keep shooting pallets of ammo, it's pretty impressive.
That's cool. Yeah. Yep. Well, I mean, they had to, they had to up the reliability of STI, right? Yeah. Because, to be duty guns, you've got to, Glock was always the level standard of, hey, this thing, you can throw it in the mud, you can throw it in the whatever, in the sand, And I
would say, like, Staccato is just as reliable as Glock.
Sure.
So far.
Yeah.
You keep oil on them, like, they're just as reliable now. Yeah. It's insane of how much reliability they do have compared to other things, and that's what people ask a lot about other 2011s that's coming out, like the Prodigy or something else like that. It's like the biggest difference is out the box. You don't have to worry.
Yeah, you're gonna have to baby a lot. I mean, you're gonna have to treat a lot of those other 2011s just like you treat race guns.
Exactly.
You're gonna have to baby them. You're gonna have to learn them. You're gonna
all that stuff.
Yeah. So that's cool. Do you know how much they're gonna run?
Anywhere from like 26 to 3,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
depends on what model you
right
get.
in line. Yeah. With everything.
Yeah, with all the rest of them.
So
if you get like the X-Serrations, if you get nitride barrel and all that other stuff.
Oh, you can. Oh, they even customize like that.
Yeah. There's like certain things. So you have either stainless barrel, nitride barrel.
Yeah.
You either have X-Serrations or no serrations. So the X-Serrations just have like holes all the way through the slide to where you can see the barrel.
Okay.
The other ones don't. They're just a solid slide.
Yeah.
But that's the only difference they have. So there's like 3 different models.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
And then while we were there, we also got to see another really cool company. Like I just walked over and they were shooting rifles, and it's like, oh, it's another rifle and silencer, and the guy put a silencer in my hand, and I was like, this is insane. It was like 6 ounces.
Really?
It was titanium. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
And it was a 5.56 silencer, so it was right at 5 inches, or maybe right under 5 inches. And 6 ounces, and it was quiet. Like it was without hearing protection, you could shoot it.
Really?
On a gun. And there's very few things that like I go to the show and it's like, all right, this is like really impressive. Like it's like, oh, it's another gun, whatever. I don't get super impressed. That silencer I was very impressed with.
Okay, who made it?
It's Cobalt Kinetics. It's called the Scrambler.
Okay.
I've seen them before, like on Instagram or something, but like never was able to shoot one or like handle it. So it didn't come out this year. It's not like a brand new silencer, but I was able to actually field test it, and we're definitely stocking them. So I was like that impressed. I was like, yeah, give me your card. Like I'm handling this in my store as soon as I get back. So I called them. I ordered some yesterday actually.
Oh really?
So they should be back. They should be in the store. They're 3D printed titanium. There's a 3D printed Inconel one. I told him, I was like, send me an Inconel one for the range gun because it's going to get shot to shit, right?
Right.
I'm going to put it on machine guns and everything else, so I don't want the titanium one. But, like, for the everyday shooter, I'm going to stock all the titanium ones.
Makes sense.
You know, there's no reason why they need an Inconel one. Like, you're not shooting machine guns, so you don't need that.
Yeah, you don't need that level.
I'd much rather have the weight than the, hard use of it. So the Inconel is definitely heavier, but, titanium, like, you don't even feel in the end of the gun.
That's
right?
cool.
So, like, for home defense guns or for range guns or going out hunting and everything, that would be the 5.56 silencer that I'd get. Okay. It's actually, I think, in 6mm, but it's 5.56, right?
Yeah.
They're 3D printed, so they don't have different hub adapters. That's the, could be downside.
Yeah.
Where, like, you couldn't change, like, hey, I want to put dead air stuff on it. Like, no. You get it what it is.
Right. Okay.
They do have their own QD system. It's just a taper mount with, like, a couple threads. It's nothing like super impressive, but in order to get the weight down that much, if you start adding stuff to it, right, the weight
it's going to get higher,
increased, and then the length increases. So for it to be that short and them 3D print that QD on there is pretty nice.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What are they going to run, you think?
1200.
1200?
Yeah, for the silencer.
Okay.
Which is, for a titanium silencer, it's not bad. Like, it's right in line. Like, usually they're 1,000, like, it's a little bit more, so it's not horrible.
And it's 5 inches?
5 inches, yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. Because I always wanted something sharp. Because, like, we try to sharpen up guns as much, but then if you put, like, a, 8-inch silencer on the gun, then you're back to, like, a 16-inch barrel.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, I wanted to keep everything sharp as much as possible. And it doesn't have to be, like, super quiet. For me, it just has to, because 5.56 is not quiet.
Right.
Like, it's going to be louder than, the speed of sound. So, you're going to hear
the crack.
But as long as it's hearing safe, where I can, like, shoot someone inside the house and I can still communicate with someone else inside the house,
right?
Then that's all I want, right?
Yeah.
And this one definitely does it, and it's quieter than what I thought it would be.
Okay,
for sure. But
so like it holds up against like all the ones we're familiar with, like the Dead Airs, the Griffins, all of those.
For the sound quality, I think that it holds up to like a full size silencer, almost like a 6.5 inch is what typical 5.56 silencers are.
Right.
So sound wise, it's that. I didn't get to shoot on a shotgun. I only got to shoot it on a like 14.5.
Okay.
So typically everything's kind of quiet on there.
Right.
But I'm gonna put it on a shotgun.
Put it on SBR.
Yep.
Yeah.
And put it on an SBR, and there's no barrel restrictions. There's no like full auto rated, all that stuff. So I'll try it whenever I get them in and see how they hold up to full size silencers and also how they hold up to K cans, because it technically is a K can.
Yeah. So it's 3D printed out of titanium, then so it's like a one piece thing. Like so, there's no taking it apart. There's no nothing.
No.
Like so. Okay.
No. So most rifle silencers you don't take them apart. Like they're welded.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're all welded.
But
together.
even like just to take like because you're saying like the different QD attachments, those aren't even on there either.
They're not.
It's just like
So it's 3D printed. Their QD attachment's 3D printed into it, so you can't take that off and put like a Griffin hub adapter,
right,
or a Dead Air hub
That's
adapter.
What you're saying. Yeah,
it's like standard. The threads are on there. That's
okay,
it.
got it.
Yep.
Wow.
But yeah, that's the only way they can like reduce the weight. I think all the way down.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. It is like fat, so it's like probably almost like 2 inches in diameter.
Okay.
Because I think that's how it's trapping as much gas as possible.
Yeah.
But your rails are about the same, right? So like you're not worried about that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
That's nice. What else do you see?
Things. Let's see. So I saw the new Canik gun.
I heard about that. Like there was a lot of well, we have a lot of Canik fanboys.
That's right. That's why they asked me. They're like, "Hey, like go and see this, right? Like you need to go and see this Canik." And I was like, "Okay, I'll go see it." So I got to see Niels.
Oh yeah, how's he?
Well, he's great. Yeah. So he was busy like talking to everybody.
Of course. But,
got to stop and talk to him for a little while. But the new Canik's pretty cool. It's the Prime one. Okay. So it has a compensated barrel or ported barrel actually. So it's like 3 ports. One's coming out the top, 2 of them's coming out the side at the end, and then the slide is also like ported to make sure that all the gases bleed out.
Okay.
It's a MC9 like fire thing, so like it's smaller gun. It's very thin, but the grip on that one feels bigger. It's definitely bigger than like the regular MC9. The MC9 has like your pinky falls off the bottom, and then the magazine is flush.
Right.
This one, your whole hand fits around the gun, so it's almost like the SIG macros.
Okay.
But it feels like a little bit bigger than a macro. I couldn't obviously like put it next to a macro because they're in different booths. But whenever we get one in, I'll try to do a video and like we can put them next to each other and see if it's bigger or not.
Yeah.
But it definitely feels bigger. That's the only downside I saw of it. I wish that they made the grip a little bit smaller to where you can kind of carry it because it's almost like
it's
a
like
little
in that
bit
tweener.
big. Yeah.
It's like a 19 size maybe
Exactly.
or something. Yeah.
It's like almost too big for a carry gun.
Right.
But if they made it a little bit smaller, it'd be really cool. I bet you it shoots great. I didn't get to shoot it, but I'm sure it's going to shoot super soft because of the ported barrels and stuff.
Yeah.
But that was a really cool gun. Smith Wesson came out with a metal series, an actual like steel frame gun.
Oh, really?
Yep. So finally, because remember whenever they were like, oh, it has the metal one, but it's aluminum.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, man, we didn't want the aluminum, we wanted the steel one.
Right.
So they finally came out with a steel one. It looks like really like stuff everywhere because it's like a blue barrel and a blue slide releases, a blue comp, and everything else.
Oh, wow.
Like,
okay.
I don't know why they do this, but like a lot of those big companies, like I guess they don't have shooters that they go and talk to. Like they have Jerry.
Yeah,
right? Like,
I know.
Why don't you talk to Jerry and be like, hey, what do we need in USPSA? But also,
so it's
like,
an M&P?
It's an M&P.
Okay.
He also shoots 3 guns, so I guess that's why they did this. But they have a compensator on the gun, right, on the barrel. So,
Okay.
like, it's going to be hard to get a gun like that without a compensator. Like, this is the only model they do. It has a big mag well. It has a compensator.
Okay.
Has all this stuff. So it's like now you're throwing it into open.
Yeah.
Right? Which
yeah.
it doesn't need to be. It needs
Right,
to be
because it's a
into carry
9-miner
optics.
gun, right?
Yeah, it's a 9-miner gun. So it needs to be in carry optics, which no compensator, no mag well, just steel frame.
Or even limb op.
Yeah, do that. But it felt okay. It wasn't as heavy as I thought it would be.
Okay.
Because like thinking about steel frame guns, like whenever you pick up a steel frame Canik, it's like you can feel the weight, right? Like it's definitely there. Steel frame SIGs, or whenever they come out, you can feel the weight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of them. But
Did they have a steel frame stick over there?
So Max's guns didn't come out.
Okay.
But they do have a steel frame X5.
Okay.
Right, so it's kind of like the same feeling of it.
Yeah. Well, I had that AXG grip module. It didn't add any weight.
That's aluminum.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one, the new X5s are steel grips.
Oh,
so
it.
you
Okay.
definitely
So
feel the weight.
It'll be
in it.
heavier.
Yeah.
So, okay.
But this one's, like, it was a little bit heavier than aluminum.
The
on
Smith, right,
Wesson,
yeah.
but it wasn't, like, a lot. And I just don't think they have a lot of material. Because if you look at Smith & Wesson's, like, even on aluminum frame, next to the magazines and stuff, like, it's very thin.
Okay.
Right? So, like, I don't think they have a lot of weight there in order to
They're
put
trying to keep it
steel.
light, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. Like, I think they should definitely add more in a dust cover. Like, make, like, a huge pick rail, right? And just, like, stuff a bunch of weight in there.
Yeah.
Try to make it a little bit beefier in certain areas just to add more weight.
Well, if you muzzle, that'll make it really muzzle divey. Then you got to add weight to the back, too.
Yeah.
So.
And then the side panels are polymer, right? To where you can change the
pop
different
them out,
grips.
yeah.
So if someone makes a brass one, it'd probably like add a little bit more weight to where you can actually get the weight of a steel gun.
Okay.
So that might help. But
yeah, you'd think they would have done. If they're going to go the steel route, you
want the
You're
weight.
right. You put a rail on it. You put a full length rail on it, and you make the back strap fat and steel.
Exactly.
And then
to where it adds
balances out. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we'll see.
But we'll see.
It's a Smith. People will shoot it. So.
Yeah, they'll shoot it.
Yeah.
There was only one out there for you to mess with.
Okay.
The other one was like on this like little wall that you couldn't really touch. It was like behind a glass. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The one I was able to like finesse. The trigger was good, like the regular trigger, but the reset was like non-existent. And
really,
yeah, it was really bad. So like, I don't really care like that much. Like
ride the reset.
I don't ride the reset. Like I make sure that I reset the gun during recall, like you're supposed to do that. But like, it was almost difficult to like you couldn't bump the gun. Right, like it was so not there. I couldn't feel it. Where if I would try to bump the gun, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. Like I'd have like trigger freeze because it wasn't.
You
resetting
you couldn't
fast
feel.
enough.
You couldn't feel where it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Couldn't feel where it was, and I feel like it wouldn't reset fast enough to like click
to know.
You know.
Yeah. So you were gonna have to go through full sweeps the whole time.
Yeah,
full trigger finger sweeps. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so and if like you shoot that away, then you know what we're talking about. If you don't, then
don't worry about it. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, you're not gonna be able to get it. You're not gonna understand like what that's supposed to feel like. But yeah, whenever you're bumping the gun, you couldn't do it with that gun. And I think the only reason why they got the trigger down that weight is because they had to lighten up that spring. So maybe if you put like a little bit stronger reset spring,
maybe it'll pop out. It'll
pop out a little bit more. You might have a little bit more like trigger press weight,
Right.
overall weight, but I don't think it would be that bad.
Yeah.
Just to where you add a little bit more reset.
Yeah, honestly, because I started carrying that Staccato, right?
Yeah.
And it weighs a lot more. Like the trigger weight is a lot more than our gamer 2011s, our open guns.
Yeah, they're 5 pounds.
Yeah. So yeah,
It's so much more weight.
So much more. I mean, you got to think about it. It's like almost 5 times as much.
I know. People like touch the CSs and stuff. That's jab. And like, man, this trigger's so awesome. I'm like,
Yeah.
like, it's good. Like the trigger breaks clean and everything. But like, you're sitting here complaining about it. It's like, man, the weight's like so heavy. It's like, it's 5 pounds.
It's so true.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. But in the grand scheme of things, you're used to shooting. Like the guns that we have, like 100,000 rounds behind.
They're 1 pound.
Yeah,
right?
they're 1 pound, 1.5. Maybe.
Yeah, 1.5 to 1
So,
pound depends on like how bad that sear's starting to wear.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. If I haven't replaced the parts that year, then it's like it's bad. But
whenever I start getting those 10 splits, I'm like, man, I feel good. Like trigger's going.
That's right.
It's about to wear out.
That's right. But to say that though, it's like when you add that, because I shot the CS in a match, right, and it was like once you're behind it, you don't really notice it,
right?
So it's like for Smith and Wesson, it's like, guys, you can add a pound or two to get a little bit more of a positive reset. Yeah. People are going to complain about it when they dry fire and they pick it up. Yeah, but like realistically, when you get behind the gun, you're never going to feel it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, and you have all the YouTube, like experts, and they sit there and dry fire a gun.
Yeah.
And then you hear them like testing the reset, like they're holding the trigger back. It's like, you don't shoot the gun that way, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, they just,
or if you do, you're doing it wrong. Like,
you're doing it wrong.
Don't shoot like that.
And they do. Like you'll hear them whenever they make the video. You hear bang, click, bang. It's like you're not shooting the gun the right way.
Well, no
like,
wonder you're
never
slow.
Hear, you should never hear the click. Like it's just automatically during a recall. But so you can always have complaints about it, and like just like what we're doing right now, complaining about the gun. But I think that if they would talk to different shooters and like actual shooters, not YouTube shooters,
right,
they can maybe make a little bit better one
for sure. Yeah, I mean, reset like. You don't realize how much like the having that positive reset is so helpful to shoot fast.
Yep, fast. Yep.
So
it was good.
Anyway, well, that's cool.
Then I had some other notes on here. Surefire, I went by their booth, so they're I always love their lights, but I have a lot of their silencers too. Like on all the machine guns, that's what usually I use for the 5.56 guns. Is like the RC2 and the Mini. Yeah. And I always love the hub adapter because it's aluminum collar, so it's very lightweight and it doesn't take up a lot of room on the silencer. Yeah. But they finally came out with that hub adapter to where you could add it to other silencers. So
nice.
Before you could never do that, and they had companies taking Surefire training devices, cutting them down and threading them to actually make just for the fast attach model.
Right.
But they finally released the fast attach on a hub adapter, like the standard 13 point whatever threads, so you could add it to other stuff, which was kind of cool.
That's cool.
HK went by their booth. They released a new rifle, which is very similar to like the 416. It's like the closest thing to a 416. Okay. It still doesn't have the chrome line barrel, which is like the thing that everybody like rant and raves about. Right. But talked to the HK rep, and the way that they were doing it, the chrome lining could not hold the accuracy that they wanted to. So say that that's the reason why they didn't chrome line it. I think it's more of import and export situations, right? Because like they're always worried about that. Like if we sell something very close to what we produce for the military, then they like ITAR has
they'll have a
shit fit with it. So I think just went to something different, but they also have a lifetime guarantee on the barrel. So if you ever shoot out the barrel or anything, they replace the barrel for free. Yeah, which is kind of cool. But it is a really cool gun. The handguard's very slim compared to the old 416s. It's not like big and bulky. Right. It's very similar to like what the SIG did with the spear. They kind of lighten everything up. Okay. So it's still a piston-driven gun. You still have that weight, but they lighten up all the other stuff to where it almost feels like a DI gun. Okay. Cool. Right. Nice. So it's pretty cool. I got to play with a new little subcompact gun from HK, like the concealed carry one. Okay. Finally, the trigger is awesome. I really like the trigger on it. Yeah. Whenever it breaks at like 90 degrees, instead of breaking back. You know, a lot of the subcompact guns. They're so small that like you have to like almost pull all the way back.
Right.
This one breaks up front and it stops.
Nice.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
Like, this is really nice.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. The finish on it was really good. Didn't have any complaints about that gun whatsoever. We'll probably stock a few of them in the store. Mm-hmm. And the last booth that I remember was like Double Alpha booth. Right?
Oh sure. Yeah. How's he like?
Had to go see all the friends over there. So got to talk to Ellie and Saul.
Was Saul over there too? Yeah.
Yeah, he was over there too. So they had some cool products. They had a new mag pouch that was like called the X-ray pouch. So it had just like holes in it. So it was just like a little bit lighter. The way
is it metal or
they have metal and in polymer.
Okay,
either one. The way that the little inserts go in was pretty cool. So like instead of the little tab being at the bottom, it's at the top now, and they have like a cross bolt that goes all the way through the mag pouch. That's where your magazine stops on. So you remember how they had that little plastic thing?
Yeah.
That you'd have to like fold in there.
Right.
And like sometimes it would bend and stuff.
Yeah.
So this one's just like a bolt that goes all the way through and it's bolted on both sides. Huh. So it's a lot more like positive stop whenever you throw it in there.
Okay.
And the top of the magazine pouch is much more beveled. Like it's like a mag funnel.
Oh, okay.
So unloaded starts is super easy because you can just throw it in there.
Yeah, okay.
So that was very positive feedback on it. And
interesting.
Then, like,
so like just made it like a magwell.
It made it like a magwell. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. So that's a good idea. I'm surprised I didn't do that a long time ago.
Especially in IPSC because you have so many unloaded starts.
Yeah.
And like production optics or something where you have 15 rounds, you have to grab 2 mags, right?
Right.
In open, we don't really have to worry about that because like you snap
drop
it
it to
on
a
a magnet.
mag. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you go with it. But if you had to pick up more than like 2 mags and put on your belt, then that does help because you put one on a magnet, one on that mag pouch, and then be good.
That makes sense. Yep. That's cool.
So it's really cool. They had different the way that the tension on the back, something was different with that. I forgot what it was, but it has more even tension to where you don't have to worry about that back plate sliding out.
Okay.
So remember how sometimes like you pull it and the back plate
that thing would pop
unpop
out. Yeah.
So now they don't have to worry about that anymore. And then their biggest product, which is awesome, is a brass sorter.
A brass sorter?
Brass sorter. Yes.
Really?
So this thing is, I'd have to see, obviously, like how it would work over long periods of time because it doesn't look like it's a commercial grade or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you program it to one specific caliber, right? And then it only takes that one caliber out. So it's not like a brass sorter that does 9, 40, 45, like different bends. It's either good or bad, right?
Okay, got it.
So it also has a counter on it. So how you designed it was it's small enough to where you can put it on a feeder, like on a brass feeder to go in a reload machine.
Okay.
So like let's say if you have 9 and you have a couple 380s or super comp, it'll see the 380 and it'll discharge it as it goes into the feeder tube.
That's handy.
So it's like, man, that's really cool, right?
That's handy.
And I asked Saul, I was like, hey, can I like sort the whole brass? And he's like, well, you know, it only does 9. Like if you do it for that, or only does 38 super comp or whatever.
Right.
So I was like, well, that's all I care about. I was like, all the range brass, put it in there and just like dump all the other stuff.
Right.
Right. As long as it sorts to 9 and then I can program it for super comp, then that's all I really needed to do for.
And 380.
And 380, yeah. So, because I would just want to keep 9 and 38 super comp.
Right.
So just had to run it twice. And he's like, yeah, they knew it would work great for there.
Well, hell, we can just daisy chain it.
That's what I think. Yeah. Just daisy chain it. And it is polymer. So I don't know, like I said, for long-term use, how it's going to hold up.
Right.
But they say it does 3,000 rounds an hour. So that's pretty
quick.
good. Yeah,
that's quick.
Pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. So
nice.
I want to get one in and see, how it works. And
put it on the stuff.
Yeah. If worst comes to worst, you could always just put it on the thing and just to sort the 380s and 38 super comp.
Sure, you can do it in an extra step.
Yeah. Well, like put it in the reload machine.
Yeah.
Right. To where like we don't have to worry about loading a 38 super comp if we're loading 9 and jamming up the machine.
Yeah.
Or those I told him about the 9x21s. So I remember Ellie actually told me about this. He was saying that overseas that's very popular. 9x21. They don't have 38 super comp. So we actually had some 9x21. I don't know where we got it from, but in our brass bin we had some.
Okay.
And like my gun shoots it.
Like ours?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know exactly where it came from.
Okay.
It came from me.
Okay.
Yeah. Because Edwin shoots it.
Oh, okay.
And it's super comp. Yeah.
So like, I mean, it shoots through my gun, but would try to call them like as I prepare for a match because I didn't want to go to a match with it.
Right.
So I'd like throw them out, but he said it does since the 9x21 and super comp. It'll also do super comp and not super comp.
Or like
so
super.
38 super and 38 super comp because it actually like images the rim also.
Oh, so it does it by imaging. It doesn't do it. I
think it does by imaging.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So it'd be really cool to see.
Huh. Well, we can do it. I mean, we can do it on our processing side. We don't even have to get it. Yeah,
I'm sure it has to be like pretty clean brass because if it does it by imaging, and if you're running that much dirty brass, the sensor is gonna get messed up. Like we've already run into that issue multiple times.
Yeah.
So it just gets dirty. But if you're running clean brass, I think it lasts for quite a while.
I had to check it out. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. Other than that, like I don't have any other boots that I can think of offhand. I think I talked about all of them. That was like super impressive.
Yeah.
Like, we went to other ones, but didn't see anything. I was like, I definitely want to talk about that.
Yeah. What else did you guys do in Vegas? Like I was thinking about that the whole time. Like as you got after the show was over, like what do y'all?
Yeah. So like
into?
The first the Monday was actually my birthday. So we went
that's right.
to eat the Sunday night and kind of got to celebrate a little bit.
Yeah.
But after the show, like we would get off at 5 from the booth.
Oh, that's
and whenever
7 our time. Yeah.
Yeah, and then whenever we like walk over, by the time we got back to Caesars, we were just like all dead tired.
Just cooked.
Like, we were just like, man, it feels like midnight. Like I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
So for the most part, we just kind of like went back to the room and just chilled out.
Yeah. No, we. I was talking to Mom because up until that day I was going. I'd already scoped out like, we're gonna go to these. Like there were like a couple of Filipino restaurants we're gonna
nice.
Like, hey, take the guys over here. It's like, I will. I'm sick. Can't do it. So next year we'll have to. There's some suggestions of like Filipino restaurants.
Yeah, next year I want to try to bring more people to where we could have like shifts in the booth because there's just like me, Dalton, Austin, and Sam.
Right,
and Sam's pregnant, so.
Well, I was gonna say she ain't gonna be there next year. She's gonna have the kid.
Yeah, she wasn't. She couldn't walk around a lot, But
I'd say not.
Yeah. So, and she also had work too, so it was kind of like us three, and working the booth a lot.
Yeah.
So it was just very difficult. Where next year if we have a bunch of people, then we can take shifts. That way people can go walk around, you can go look at new products.
Exactly.
Go and like have fun different days and stuff like that.
Sure.
So that's what we'll try to do next year.
That makes sense.
But there's one cool thing that kind of like popped up. Like they got me on geofencing, I guess.
Oh, really? What happened? Yeah.
So like you're in Vegas, you always get like these little notifications.
Yeah.
Like if you surf the internet or if you're on Facebook, it pops up like sponsored ads. So I saw one of them and I like clicked on it. I was like, man, this is really cool. I want to go to that. It was like it was a place like almost like a museum, but it was like things that made you like second guess stuff. Like if you're in a room, it looks like the room's like caving in, but it's actually like a flat wall.
Oh yeah, right? Like those optical illusion type things.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was an optical illusion museum.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So they had like so many of these things that each room had something different. I was like, I definitely want to come to this. And they showed like different pictures of it. And it looked really cool. Cause like from one angle, you look at it and everything's perfect. And then you start like moving to the side.
Yeah.
And everything's like, 10 foot long.
Wow.
Right? Yeah. So it's like, I want to go to that.
Yeah. Check that out. Yeah. Cool.
So that was kind of cool.
I want to go Hoover. I've always wanted to go to the Hoover Dam.
Hoover Dam,
Yeah.
Yeah, I would want to do that in the Grand Canyon one time.
Grand
Canyon,
over
there.
Yeah,
we got to fly over it and going to like the Staccato Ranch. Like I'm sure there's got to be somewhere over there because it was like 40. It's supposed to be 40 minutes to drive there.
Yeah,
it took us like an hour because we got on a bus.
Okay,
right. Like Staccato was busing people back and forth.
Right.
So the bus doesn't go 55 miles an hour. So,
right.
It took us forever to get there. But.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out. That'd be cool. It'd be cool. So, next year. Awesome. So that's a pretty good recap of SHOT. Anything like, so I guess the big major products that you guys saw, they all sound pretty cool. Was there anything that you wanted to see you didn't get to see?
No, not really. Because like usually I don't go there with like expectations.
Sure.
Right. Like some people do that. They're like, oh, I want to see the Glock PCC this year. Every year, like for the last 15 years, they're like, I bet you Glock's releasing the PCC. So they build up all this thing for it, and they get there. Glock's like, look, it's the new 48. Yeah. It's like the same gun, right?
Yeah.
So like they have a lot of expectation. I try not to do that because like all it does is like you start thinking bad of a company because like they don't understand like what actually involves into making a product, right? Especially a big company like Glock or something like that, right?
Like, why would they make a PCC?
Yeah, like they have to
There's
field
no
test
reason.
all this stuff for so long. Like it's insane the amount of development it takes. It's years. Like they think it's just like, oh, once a month and they pop up a new product.
No, man.
Not a big company, because they're not going to release something and it crashes.
You got to think about their market position, right? They are known for being the reliable,
exactly.
The combat Tupperware, thing. That
HK for a prime example, that gun they released this past year, the little CCP or whatever it is. They told me in 2017 that gun was coming out.
Sure.
Like in 2017, it's 2025, and it just came out,
and it's just out right now. Yeah, it takes forever.
Yeah, it takes 8 years of development of like just testing that gun. But I guarantee you, whenever you buy it, they're not gonna have a recall, right? Because like that's how HK is. Yeah, HK has a reputation of whenever we produce something, it's gonna be it. Like we're not changing it. That's what it does. But
yeah, same thing. It's like you can't put, especially companies with that big of a a brand already built. Exactly. They're not going to put out some.
They're not going to put out.
Glock is not going to put out a PCC.
No,
that's the first I heard of it.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
No, it's not. It's not.
Why would they do that? Like
they should develop one because I think it would be great for them to like put one, but like.
No, but
it's gonna take forever, and
it'll be their very first something longer than 6 inches.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not happening.
Yeah, not gonna happen. But yeah, so I try just not to like make different like expectations about different products or like, man, I hope this is gonna happen, or start brainstorming of what's gonna be out there.
Sure.
I just kind of go there with an open mind, see what's out, and then if I get impressed with it, then it's like, oh, this is really cool.
Then it's coming to the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. So cool. Well, very good. I think that's good enough, man. I think we've been going for a little while. So that's SHOT Show, everybody. 2025 SHOT Show in the can. If you have any questions, reach out. And as normal, we're going to put this out on all of our normal stuff on Rumble, X, YouTube, all the stuff. The one thing I am going to try to figure out is this live streaming thing. I have the setup now. We're going to try to do it probably more often. So if you have any questions for the live stream or any topics you guys want us to talk about, reach out. Otherwise, we'll catch you next time.